Namo Amitabha Buddha. Dear friends, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Let me ask you something gently. Have you ever reached the end of the day, feeling completely exhausted, yet unable to sleep? Your body is tired, but your mind keeps replaying old mistakes, unfinished worries, things you wish you had done better. And somewhere in that quiet, you may feel a heaviness, not toward others, but toward yourself. If that sounds familiar, please know this first: you are not weak, and you are not alone. So many people carry this silent burden. They care for their families, work hard, try to be kind, and still lie awake at night, feeling they are never enough. Tonight, we are not here to judge or fix anything. We are here to rest together, to listen to a gentle teaching from the Buddha that reminds us of something we often forget: the way we treat our own heart matters deeply. There is a simple, compassionate path, one that helps the mind soften, the body relax, and the heart begin again without force or guilt. As we move forward, allow yourself to breathe slowly. Stay with this moment and let these words guide you into a quieter, kinder space within. As you rest here, breathing a little more slowly, something may begin to feel familiar. Not the calm yet, but the truth of how much you have been carrying. You might be the kind of person who always shows up. You answer messages late at night. You remember birthdays. You keep track of bills, appointments, groceries, medications. You hold things together, even when your own energy feels thin, like a thread pulled too far. At the end of the day, when the house finally grows quiet, the lights dim and the television is turned off, you sit or lie down, and that is when it arrives. Not loud, not dramatic, just a steady weight in the chest. The mind starts reviewing what you said earlier, what you forgot to say, the way you lost patience, the way you tried your best and still feel it wasn't enough. Outside, a car passes on the street. A neighbor's porch light clicks off. Somewhere far away, maybe the faint sound of a bell from a temple app on your phone set to remind you to breathe chimes softly, then fades. And you are alone with your thoughts again. Many people listening tonight live this way. They are caregivers for aging parents. They are parents themselves, worrying about children who are growing up too fast. They work long hours, not because they love stress, but because responsibility leaves little choice. They hold the American promise of independence and strength, yet rarely feel free to rest. And quietly, almost invisibly, they begin to treat themselves as the last priority. You may notice how easily kindness flows outward, how natural it is to forgive others, how quickly you excuse their mistakes, understanding their stress, their pain, their limitations. But when it comes to yourself, the voice is different. Why can't I do better? Why am I still like this? Why do I keep failing in the same ways? This inner voice does not shout. It doesn't need to. It repeats itself patiently, night after night, until the body grows tense without knowing why, until sleep becomes shallow or disappears altogether. In Buddhist practice, there is an understanding that suffering is not always caused by dramatic events. Often, it comes from something quieter, the way we relate to what is happening inside us. The Buddha spoke of intention, of how the mind leans toward or away from compassion. And this includes the compassion we extend to ourselves when we are always trying to be strong, always trying to be useful, always trying to hold everything together. We may not notice the subtle moment when effort turns into self-abandonment, not because we don't deserve care, but because we believe others need it more. There is a story many practitioners recognize even if they've never heard it spoken aloud. A person sits in a meditation hall, hands folded, eyes lowered. From the outside, they look calm, steady, devoted. Inside, their heart is whispering, "Just don't mess up. Just keep going. Don't stop." That whisper follows them home. It follows them into the kitchen as they wash dishes. It follows them into bed. Over time, the body begins to respond. Shoulders tighten. Breathing becomes shallow. Sleep comes late or breaks too early. And still, the mind says, "Try harder." The Buddha did not teach this kind of endurance. He did not praise the heart that punishes itself in silence. Again and again, his teachings return to balance between effort and ease, between responsibility and rest. In everyday language, we might say even a lamp needs oil. Even a phone needs to be charged. Yet somehow we expect the human heart to run endlessly without renewal. There is a quiet sadness in this, but also something tender. Because the reason you push yourself is often love. Love for family. Love for duty. Love for the life you are trying to protect. The problem is not that you care too much. The problem is that your care has forgotten its own source. In many Buddhist communities across the United States, people gather not because they are failing, but because they are tired. They sit together sometimes in silence, sometimes chanting softly. A candle flickers at the altar. Incense rises and disappears into the air. No one asks them to explain themselves, just to breathe. In those moments, something becomes clear without words. You cannot offer peace if you are constantly at war with your own heart. This is not a moral failure. It is a human pattern. And tonight, simply recognizing this pattern is already a form of wisdom. If you feel a gentle ache as you listen, let it be there. That ache is not weakness. It is the heart remembering itself. You don't need to fix anything right now. You don't need to make promises or plans. Just notice how much effort you have been giving and how little permission you have allowed yourself to rest. In the soft space of this moment, the teachings begin, not with instruction, but with understanding. And from understanding, a different kind of path slowly opens one, where caring for others and caring for yourself are no longer in conflict, but part of the same gentle movement toward peace. From that quiet understanding, the path continues naturally into a night that many people know all too well. It is late. The digital clock on the nightstand glows 2:17 a.m., then 2:18. The room is dark, but the mind is brightly lit, moving from one worry to the next without pause. A phone rests face down on the table, yet it might as well be vibrating. Thoughts keep arriving anyway. The rent, the credit card balance, the medical bill that came last week folded, once then unfolded, then set aside because there was no energy left to look at it again. Outside the window, the street is quiet. A few houses down, a light is still on. Someone else awakes somewhere else carrying their own invisible load. The hum of the refrigerator fills the silence steady and unbothered, as if the world itself is sleeping just fine. In this bed lies someone like David, not because the name matters, but because the story feels familiar. David works full-time. He answers emails quickly. He rarely complains. When his mother's health began to decline, he rearranged his schedule without hesitation. Doctor appointments, prescriptions, insurance calls that seem to loop endlessly, each voice polite but distant. During the day, he manages. He smiles when needed. He says, "It's fine even when it isn't." But at night, the weight settles in. What if the money runs out? What if I miss something important? What if I'm not doing enough for her or for myself? He turns onto his side, then back again. The pillow feels warm, slightly uncomfortable. A faint headache pulses behind the eyes, the kind that comes from holding tension too long. On the dresser sits a small object, a simple image of the Buddha, something he picked up years ago at a local Buddhist center in California. It isn't large or ornate, just a calm face, eyes, lowered lips, resting in a gentle line. In the dim light, it almost looks alive, as if listening. David doesn't think of himself as deeply religious. He doesn't know many sutras by heart. But sometimes, when things feel like too much, he looks at that image and remembers sitting quietly among others, the soft sound of chanting filling the room, the smell of incense drifting upward. Tonight, that memory flickers, then fades, replaced again by numbers and deadlines. This is how the mind works when it is tired and afraid. It does not stay with one problem long enough to solve it. It jumps restless, creating a sense of urgency that never resolves. In Buddhist teaching, this state is not called failure, it is called restlessness, a natural response when the heart feels unsafe. The Buddha spoke often about suffering that comes from clinging to outcomes, to control, to the idea that if we just think harder, worry longer, we might prevent pain. But in moments like this, thinking has lost its usefulness. The mind is no longer a tool. It has become a storm. David sits up slowly and reaches for a glass of water. The floor is cool beneath his feet. He takes a small sip, feeling the dryness in his throat ease just a little. His phone lights up as he checks the time again. A notification from the bank. He doesn't open it. There is a quiet shame that often comes with nights like this. A voice that says, "Other people handle this better. Why can't you?" That voice cuts deeper than the worry itself. In Buddhist understanding, intention matters more than circumstance. And the intention behind that harsh inner voice is usually not cruelty. It is fear. Fear of loss. Fear of failing those we love. Fear of not being enough in a world that keeps asking for more. But fear, when left unattended, turns inward. It becomes self-blame. David notices his shoulders are tight lifted, as if bracing for impact. He didn't choose this posture. His body adopted it on its own, responding to hours, days, years of silent pressure. This is how suffering shows up, not as a dramatic collapse, but as a slow forgetting of ease. In the Buddha's teachings, there is a simple but profound truth. When the mind is agitated, it cannot see clearly. When it cannot see clearly, it creates more suffering, even with good intentions. Trying harder is not the answer here. Neither is giving up. What is needed is a pause. A small interruption in the cycle. David sits on the edge of the bed and lets his hands rest on his knees. He doesn't force his breath to change. He just notices it. In and out, uneven but present. For a moment, the worries do not disappear, but they stop advancing. Like waves that pause before breaking, they hover, then slowly lose some of their sharpness. This moment may seem insignificant, but in Buddhist practice, this is where transformation begins. Not with grand solutions, but with the recognition that the heart is overwhelmed and deserves care. Compassion, the Buddha taught, is not only something we offer others, it is a way of relating to suffering itself, including our own. David remembers something a teacher once said during a Dharma talk: "You cannot scold the mind into peace." That sentence returns now gently without effort. It doesn't fix the bills. It doesn't answer the future. But it loosens something inside the chest. He looks again at the small Buddha image. The face seems unchanged, steady, patient, as if it has seen this night many times before. And perhaps it has. Because nights like this are not rare. They are shared across cities and homes, across cultures and languages. Many people lie awake worrying about money, about parents, about whether they are doing enough with the limited energy they have left. In this quiet hour, there is an invitation not to solve everything, but to soften the grip of self-judgment. The Buddha did not promise a life without difficulty. He offered something more realistic, a way to meet difficulty without adding extra suffering. As David lies back down, one hand resting on his chest, the other by his side, there is a subtle shift. The worries are still present, but they are no longer the only thing in the room. There is also breath. There is also awareness. There is also the possibility of kindness. And in that small opening, a deeper teaching begins to take shape. One that shows how the way we hold our worries can either tighten the knots of suffering or slowly, patiently begin to untie them. And in that small opening where breath awareness and kindness share the same space, a deeper truth quietly reveals itself. The Buddha spoke often about suffering, but not in the way many people imagine. He did not only speak of illness, loss, or hardship. He spoke of something more intimate, more hidden: the suffering we create when we turn against ourselves. There is a kind of pain that comes from circumstances. And then there is a deeper pain that comes from how we respond inwardly, especially when no one else is watching. The Buddha taught that the mind can become its own harsh judge, not with anger, but with relentless expectations, not with shouting, but with constant pressure. You can feel this pressure in the body, in the jaw that tightens while lying in bed, in the chest that feels heavy without a clear reason, in the breath that never seems to reach all the way down. This is the suffering of silent self-punishment. It happens when we replay the past again and again, believing that criticism will somehow lead to improvement. It happens when we believe rest must be earned, peace must be deserved, and kindness must be reserved for others. In one of the Buddha's teachings, he compared the mind to a field. Whatever seeds we water will grow. When we water, fear spreads its roots. When we water blame becomes familiar. And when we water compassion, even gently, the field begins to soften. Many people believe that being hard on themselves is a sign of responsibility. That self-criticism means they care. But the Buddha offered a different understanding. He taught that intention matters more than intensity. If the intention behind your inner voice is fear, shame, or punishment, then no matter how disciplined it sounds, it will lead to exhaustion. It will not lead to wisdom. Imagine walking through a quiet temple garden at dusk. The stones beneath your feet are cool. A lotus pond reflects the fading light. Nothing in this space is rushing. Nothing is demanding that you prove your worth. The Buddha's path is like this garden. It does not move forward through force, but through clarity. When the Buddha spoke of compassion, he did not limit it to how we treat others. He included how we meet our own suffering. There is a teaching where the Buddha asks his followers to reflect. If you would not speak to a dear friend this way, why speak to yourself like this? This question lands softly, but it goes deep. Think of someone you love, a parent, a child, a close friend. If they came to you, exhausted, overwhelmed, worried about money or family, would you tell them they are failing? Would you tell them they should have done better, been stronger, tried harder? Most likely, your voice would soften. Your posture would change. Your eyes would warm. The Buddha asked us to learn this same posture toward ourselves, not to excuse harmful actions, not to ignore responsibility, but to recognize that cruelty, especially inward cruelty, never leads to awakening. In Buddhist psychology, this harsh inner voice is not considered wisdom. It is considered a habit. Habits are formed through repetition, not truth. The mind repeats what it has learned, often from years of pressure, comparison, and survival. In a culture that praises productivity and strength, many people learn early that rest equals weakness and self-worth must be earned. The Buddha did not teach this. He taught that suffering arises when we cling to control, to perfection, to an image of who we think we should be. Self-punishment is a form of clinging. It clings to the past. It clings to imagined futures. It clings to the belief that pain is the price of goodness. But the Buddha showed another way. He taught that when awareness meets suffering without judgment, something begins to loosen. Not immediately, not dramatically, but steadily, like ice melting under quiet sunlight. You may notice this even now. As you listen, perhaps your shoulders drop just a little. Perhaps your breath deepens without effort. These are not accidents. They are signs that the nervous system recognizes safety. The Buddha understood this deeply. He knew that a mind at war with itself cannot rest, and a mind that cannot rest cannot see clearly. This is why he placed such importance on gentleness, on patience, on beginning again. There is a phrase often shared in Buddhist communities across the United States: start where you are, not where you think you should be, not where you were 10 years ago, but right here in this moment, with this breath. Self-punishment keeps us stuck in time, replaying the past or fearing the future. Compassion brings us back to the present. And in the present, the Buddha taught there is always a doorway to pause, a doorway to breathe, a doorway to choose a different response. This does not mean the problems disappear. Bills may still be due. Parents may still be ill. Life may still ask much of you. But the suffering layered on top, the endless self-judgment, the silent blame, can begin to fall away. The Buddha never asked us to be perfect. He asked us to be awake. Awake to how we are speaking to ourselves. Awake to how much effort we are carrying. Awake to the simple truth that kindness is not a reward, it is a necessity. As this understanding settles in, like a soft blanket placed gently over the body, there is often a feeling of relief. Not because everything is resolved, but because the inner fight pauses. In that pause, something precious becomes possible. The heart, no longer under attack, can finally rest. As the heart finally finds a brief pause, something important comes into view, something that has been quietly shaping these nights all along. The Buddha taught that suffering does not only come from what happens to us, it also comes from what we repeat within us. When the room grows dark and the world goes still, a familiar pattern often begins to move. The body lies down, but the mind does not rest. Thoughts circle, returning to the same places, like a wheel that keeps turning even after the road has ended. A mistake from years ago appears without warning. A conversation replays this time with sharper words, harsher judgments. A quiet sentence forms inside, almost automatic. I should have known better. This sentence feels ordinary, reasonable, even responsible. But in the Buddha's teaching, this is where a deeper layer of suffering hides. In Buddhism, karma is not fate. It is not punishment handed down from outside. Karma is movement. It is the momentum created by intention, thought, and habit repeated again and again. Every night, when the mind turns against itself, a current is set in motion. Not dramatic, not visible to others, but steady. The Buddha compared karma to a path worn into the ground. The more often we walk it, the easier it becomes to follow, even without choosing. Self-hatred works the same way. You can feel it in the body long before you name it. The shoulders curl inward slightly as if bracing. The breath shortens, never fully arriving. The stomach tightens, even when nothing is wrong in this moment. This is karma in real time, not something waiting for the next life, but something unfolding now, quietly shaping sleep health and peace of mind. Many people believe karma only comes from big actions, but the Buddha taught that intention matters more than size. A harsh thought, repeated nightly, carries weight. A moment of self-blame, revisited hundreds of times, leaves a mark. Imagine a small stone dropped into water every evening. Once or twice it barely matters, but night after night the ripples begin to shape the shore. This is why the Buddha paid such close attention to the mind, because the mind left unattended will repeat what it knows, even if what it knows is painful. In American life, this pattern often wears the mask of self-improvement. We are taught to evaluate, to correct, to push forward. Be better next time. Don't make the same mistake. Work harder. These ideas can be useful during the day, but at night, when the body is tired and defenses are low, they turn inward. What was meant as motivation becomes punishment. A woman once shared at a small Dharma group how every night she replayed her parenting decisions, the moments she lost patience, the times she chose work over presence. Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled slightly as she spoke. "I thought this was responsibility," she said softly, "but my chest hurts every night." The teacher listened quietly, then asked, "Does this voice make you kinder tomorrow?" The room was still. That question stayed with her, not as accusation, but as light. The Buddha taught that actions rooted in wisdom lead to freedom. Actions rooted in fear lead to more fear. Self-hatred is rooted in fear. Fear of failing. Fear of not being enough. Fear of letting people down. When fear repeats itself without rest, it becomes karma, not because it is wrong, but because it continues. You may notice how this karma shows up physically. Waking at the same hour each night, tension headaches that come without explanation, a sense of heaviness upon waking, as if sleep never truly arrived. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of a nervous system caught in a loop. The Buddha understood this long before modern psychology. He taught that the mind and body move together, each shaping the other. When the mind attacks itself, the body responds as if under threat. But here is the turning point, the place where the Buddha's teaching becomes a path, not just an explanation. Karma can change, not by force, not by denial, but by awareness. The moment you notice the pattern without adding judgment, the wheel slows, just slightly, but enough. Instead of believing every thought, you see it. Instead of following it, you pause. This pause is powerful. In Buddhist language, it is called mindfulness. In everyday terms, it is the moment you stop arguing with yourself. You may feel this even now. As these words land, perhaps the mind grows a little quieter, not because worries are solved, but because they are no longer being fed. The Buddha taught that feeding the mind matters. What you give attention to becomes stronger. When self-blame receives attention, night after night, it grows roots. When compassion receives even a little attention, it begins to soften those roots. This does not mean pretending everything is fine. It means choosing not to add cruelty to difficulty. A small bell is often rung at Buddhist centers to mark moments of awareness. Its sound is gentle, brief. It does not demand, it reminds. The practice is the same here. When the thought, "I am not enough," arises, you don't have to fight it. You don't have to agree with it. You can simply recognize it as a habit, one that has been running for a long time. And in that recognition, karma loosens its grip. The Buddha did not ask his followers to erase the past. He asked them to stop carrying it like a weapon against themselves. Each night offers a choice, not between success and failure, but between repetition and release. You may not change the entire pattern tonight, but you can begin to interrupt it. Even a single moment of kindness toward yourself creates a different movement, a different current, a different future. And as this understanding settles, like warm water easing stiff muscles, the heart begins to learn something new. That self-hatred is not truth. It is a habit. And habits, no matter how old, can gently be laid down. As the habit of self-punishment begins to loosen, a natural question quietly arises in the heart. If I stop fighting myself, what do I do instead? This is where many people turn almost instinctively toward prayer or chanting. And just as often, they carry a hidden misunderstanding with them. They believe Niem Phot, reciting the Buddha's name, is a way of asking for something, asking for protection, asking for better luck, asking for problems to go away. But the Buddha's teaching points in a gentler, deeper direction. Niem Phot is not primarily a request. It is a pause. Picture a room where a radio has been playing non-stop. News, opinions, reminders, worries, one voice overlapping another. You may not even notice how loud it has become until someone reaches over and turns the knob down. That turning down is what Namo does. When a person begins to recite the Buddha's name, something subtle happens. The mouth moves in a steady rhythm. The breath follows that rhythm without being forced. The mind, which has been running in many directions, starts to gather. Not perfectly, not all at once, but enough. In Buddhist understanding, this is called stopping. Stopping the endless commentary. Stopping the self-attack. Stopping the momentum of fear that has been running on its own. At a small temple in the United States, you might see people arrive carrying very different lives. An older couple holding hands quietly. A young mother slipping off her shoes with care so she doesn't wake her child. A man who looks confident on the outside, but whose eyes soften the moment the chanting begins. When the room fills with the sound of Namo, Amitabha, Buddha, there is no hurry in it, no demand, just a simple phrase rising and falling like waves touching the shore. You can often see the change before anyone speaks about it. A brow unfurrows, a jaw releases, a breath that was shallow begins to move more deeply. This is not because someone has been granted a favor. It is because the nervous system recognizes safety. The Buddha taught that the mind needs an object that is steady and kind. When it does not have one, it creates its own objects, usually worries, regrets, or imagined threats. Namo offers the mind something else to rest on. The name of the Buddha is not magic in itself. Its power comes from what it represents: awakening compassion and the possibility of peace. When the mind touches that meaning again and again, it begins to mirror it. There is a story often shared in Pure Land Buddhist communities. A practitioner once asked a teacher, "How many times must I recite for it to work?" The teacher smiled and replied, "Until you stop asking it to work." What he meant was simple. Namo is not a transaction. It is a relationship. When you recite with the idea of earning something, the mind stays tight. When you recite simply to be present, the mind softens. You may notice this if you try it quietly even now. The sound spoken aloud or silently creates a gentle boundary. Inside that boundary, thoughts slow. Outside it, the noise fades into the background. In Buddhist psychology, this gathering of the mind is called concentration, not the strained kind that comes from effort, but the natural kind that comes from rhythm and trust. When concentration appears, even briefly, the cycle of self-hatred cannot continue at full speed. there is no space for it to perform. This is why Namo is often recommended for nights of anxiety and sleeplessness. Not to fix the future, but to settle the present. A man once described how during a particularly difficult period caring for his father, he would sit on the edge of his bed each night and recite softly. He did not feel spiritual. He did not feel hopeful. But after a few minutes, his shoulders would drop as if setting down a heavy bag. That's when I knew he said I wasn't doing this to get something. I was doing it to stop hurting myself. The Buddha taught that when suffering arises, the first skill is not to solve it, but to contain it. Like placing a fragile object gently into a box so it doesn't shatter. Namo is such a container. The steady repetition interrupts the habit of rumination. The breath lengthens. The body receives a message it has been waiting for. You are allowed to rest. In American culture, many people struggle with practices that do not produce immediate results. We are taught to measure progress, to optimize, to ask, is this working? But the Buddha's path invites a different question. Is this allowing me to stop adding suffering? If the answer is yes, even a little, then the practice is already doing its job. Over time, this stopping creates space. And in that space, wisdom can arise naturally. You may find that after chanting, the same worries feel slightly less sharp. Not gone, but less personal, less punishing. This is because the mind has stepped out of the role of judge and returned to the role of witness. The Buddha did not ask us to believe blindly. He asked us to observe carefully. When you observe the mind while chanting, you may notice how thoughts slow, how the body responds, how the inner tone shifts from attack to presence. That shift is precious. It is the moment karma changes direction. Each time you recite without asking, without bargaining, without criticizing yourself for how it sounds, you are teaching the mind a new pattern, a kinder one. And kindness, the Buddha taught, is not weakness. It is the condition for clarity. As the sound of the Buddha's name settles into the rhythm of breathing, something else settles too. The sense that you must constantly fix yourself. The belief that peace lies somewhere ahead after everything is resolved. For this moment, it is enough to stop, enough to breathe, enough to be here. And in that stopping, the heart begins to remember what peace feels like quietly, naturally, without being asked for at all. As the sense of stopping settles gently into the body, the night becomes ready for something simple and kind, a small ritual that asks very little, yet gives a great deal in return. You don't need special objects. You don't need perfect silence. You don't even need to believe in anything new. All that's needed is your willingness to stay with these next few minutes. Imagine the room as it is right now. The light is low. Shadows soften the edges of furniture. Outside, the world has slowed to a distant hum. This is already a sacred space simply because you are here breathing. We will move through this night ritual slowly, like stepping stones across calm water. There is nowhere to rush. Begin by letting your body find a comfortable position. If you are lying down, allow the weight of your back to sink into the bed. If you are sitting, let your feet rest fully on the floor, as if the ground itself is holding you. Take a moment to notice your face, the forehead, the eyes, the jaw. Often without realizing it, we carry the day right here. Let the tongue rest softly. Let the teeth part just a little. Now bring your attention to the breath. Not to change it, just to feel it. Feel the coolness of the inhale at the nostrils. Feel the warmth of the exhale as it leaves. Notice how the chest rises, then gently falls. If the mind wanders, that's not a mistake. That's simply the mind doing what it has learned to do. Each time you notice it wandering, you are already back. Take 3 slow breaths like this. Unforced, natural. With each exhale, imagine the shoulders melting downward, as if warm water is flowing over them. The neck softens. The space behind the eyes eases. This is the first minute, the minute of arrival. Now, gently place one hand over your chest, right where the heart rests beneath the ribs. Feel the warmth of your palm. Feel the subtle movement beneath it. This touch is not symbolic. It is physical reassurance. In Buddhist practice, the body is not an obstacle to peace. It is the doorway. As your hand rests, there begin to quietly recite the Buddha's name, either out loud or silently in the mind. Namo, Amitabha, Buddha. Let the words move at the pace of your breathing. One phrase on the inhale, one phrase on the exhale. There is no correct speed, no correct sound. Some nights the recitation feels clear. Other nights it feels foggy or distracted. Both are welcome. As the words repeat, notice how the mind responds. Thoughts may still appear, but they no longer rush forward as strongly. They drift like clouds passing behind a steady moon. This is the second and third minute, the minutes of gathering. If a worry interrupts you, do not push it away. You simply return to the sound. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Each repetition is like a soft bell ringing inside the chest, reminding the mind where to rest. You may notice the breath becoming deeper without effort, the belly rising slightly now, the body responding to safety. This is not imagination. This is the nervous system remembering how to settle. As you continue, gently bring to mind one simple intention, not a request, but an offering. May I stop hurting myself tonight? You do not need to say this aloud. Just let the meaning touch the heart like a feather landing. Continue reciting for another minute or two, letting the words and breath move together. Now, allow the recitation to fade softly into the background, like music playing in another room. Bring your awareness back to the body. Notice the weight of the legs, the hips, the back. If there is any place that still feels tight, imagine breathing into it, not to fix it, but to acknowledge it. In Buddhist teaching, acknowledgement is a form of kindness. This is the fourth and fifth minute, the minutes of release. Thoughts may return. That's okay. You are not trying to empty the mind. You are letting it rest between waves. If the inner critic appears, the familiar voice that says, "You should be doing this better," recognize it gently. You might say silently, "I see you. You can rest too." Then return to the breath. For the final minutes, place both hands comfortably either on the chest or resting by your sides. Let go of any effort. If the Buddha's name returns on its own, let it. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Feel how the body now feels compared to when you began. Not perfect, not completely calm, but different. Perhaps the jaw is looser. Perhaps the breath reaches deeper. Perhaps the chest feels a little less heavy. These small changes matter. They are signs that the habit of tension has been interrupted. As the ritual comes to a close, offer one last gentle thought, like a candle placed in the dark. Tonight, this is enough. You have done nothing extraordinary, and yet you have changed the direction of the night. In Buddhist understanding, peace does not arrive through force. It arrives through allowing the body to rest, allowing the mind to stop proving itself, allowing the heart to be held just as it is. If sleep comes now, let it come. If it takes time, that is okay. The ritual has already done its work. May this simple practice protect your rest. May it soften the edges of worry. May it remind you, night after night, that peace begins not with effort, but with permission. As the body settles into the quiet that follows the ritual, there is often one last weight that remains. Not loud, not sharp, just a dull pressure, like something unfinished resting on the heart. This is where many people believe they should be harder on themselves, that they should review the day once more, name every mistake, promise to do better tomorrow. They believe this is responsibility, but the Buddha offered a very different understanding. True reflection, he taught, is not meant to wound. It is meant to release. There is a practice in Buddhism often translated as repentance or acknowledgement, but its deeper meaning is closer to this: to see clearly without hatred and to lay down what is too heavy to carry. If you have ever held something for too long, a heavy box, a tense posture, you know the moment when you finally set it down. The fingers open, blood flows back into the hands, the shoulders drop almost on their own. This practice is like that. It begins not with blame, but with honesty. As you lie here, you may notice memories rising gently to the surface, a sharp word spoken earlier, a moment of impatience, a choice made from exhaustion rather than wisdom. You don't need to push these away, and you don't need to punish yourself for them. In the Buddha's teaching, suffering does not end through denial. It ends through understanding. Imagine a quiet temple hall late in the evening. The lights are dim. A single candle flickers at the altar. The space is not judging what enters it. It simply holds. Let your heart become that space. If a memory arises, look at it as you would look at a tired child, not with accusation, but with recognition. Yes, you might say inwardly, that happened. Notice how different this feels from, I shouldn't have done that, or what's wrong with me? The Buddha taught that when we add harshness to pain, suffering multiplies. When we add gentleness, suffering loosens. This is why repentance in Buddhism is never meant to crush the heart. Its purpose is to cleanse not by scrubbing harder, but by rinsing gently. You may place one hand on your chest again, feeling the steady warmth there. Let this touch remind you that you are here, alive, still learning. Now, very softly, you may form these words in your mind, not as a command, but as an offering. I see what I did from confusion. I see what I did from fear. I see what I did from tiredness. There is no need to list everything. No need to be thorough. In American culture, many people are trained to believe that accountability must hurt to be effective, that if it doesn't sting, it doesn't count. The Buddha disagreed. He taught that wisdom grows best in a calm mind. A mind under attack cannot learn. This is why the next step is forgiveness, not a dramatic declaration, but a quiet release. Forgiveness in Buddhism does not mean saying everything was acceptable. It means you stop replaying the moment as a form of self-punishment. You may notice a tightening in the body when you think of forgiving yourself. That tightening is habit, not truth. Breathe gently into it. You might say slowly and sincerely, "I am willing to let this go tonight. Not forever, not completely, just tonight." The Buddha often spoke of beginning again, not as a grand reset, but as a series of small returns to clarity. Beginning again means you don't drag yesterday into the present moment. You learn from it, then leave it where it belongs. You may feel a subtle shift as you do this. The breath moves more freely. The face softens. The mind grows quieter. Not because everything is resolved, but because the inner fight has stopped. There is a deep kindness in this practice. It recognizes that human beings act from conditions, from upbringing, from stress, from love mixed with fear. The Buddha never asked us to be flawless. He asked us to be honest and kind. In many Buddhist temples across the United States, you may see people bow gently during evening practice. This bow is not submission. It is humility. A way of saying, "I see my limitations, and I choose not to hate myself for them." As you rest now, you may imagine making such a bow, not to anyone outside you, but to your own heart. A heart that has been trying its best. A heart that has been carrying more than it admits. A heart that is tired of fighting. If tears come, let them. If nothing comes, that is fine too. Release does not always feel dramatic. Often, it feels like quiet relief. The Buddha taught that when the mind stops condemning itself, clarity naturally follows. And with clarity comes the ability to act differently, gently, wisely, without force. You don't need to promise to be better tomorrow. You don't need to rehearse how you will improve. For now, it is enough to stop the inner punishment, to allow the heart to rest without being judged. This is not indulgence. This is wisdom. As this understanding settles like a soft blanket drawn up around the shoulders, notice how the body responds. The chest feels lighter, the breath deeper, the space inside a little more open. This is the purpose of this practice, not to make you perfect, but to make you free from carrying what no longer needs to be carried. Tonight, you are allowed to be human. You are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to rest. And in this resting, the heart grows lighter, not because it has forgotten, but because it has finally been allowed to set something down. As the heart grows lighter, there is a natural movement that follows like breath flowing outward after a long, gentle inhale. This movement is not effort, it is generosity. In Buddhist teaching, when the mind settles and suffering eases even a little, that calm does not need to be kept only for oneself. It can be shared quietly, without loss. This sharing is called dedication, or turning the goodness outward. You might imagine a candle in a dark room. When it lights another candle, its own flame does not grow smaller. The room simply becomes brighter. As you rest here, allow the image of your family to arise gently. No need to bring up every detail, just a feeling. Perhaps you see a parent's face, the lines of age around the eyes, a familiar expression, sometimes worried, sometimes tired, sometimes trying to be strong. Perhaps you think of someone you love who is far away, in another city, another state, another stage of life. Let these images come and go naturally, like photographs drifting across a table. In American Buddhist communities, this moment is often marked by a soft bow. Not dramatic, just a lowering of the head, a sign of gratitude and humility. You may feel that bow inside you now. The Buddha taught that none of us walk alone. We are shaped by those who raised us, those who stood by us, and even those who challenged us. Whether the relationships were easy or complicated, they live on in the heart. To dedicate peace to family is not to deny pain. It is to say, may suffering stop here. If you wish, you may place one hand on your heart and one on your abdomen, feeling the rise and fall of the breath. With each exhale, imagine warmth spreading outward, not rushing, not forcing, just gently expanding. You might form these words quietly in your mind, or simply let the feeling carry them. May my parents be safe. May they be free from fear. May they feel supported, even when I cannot be there. If your relationship with your parents is complicated, that is okay. Dedication does not require perfection. It only requires sincerity. You may also think of children your own, or those you care about. Imagine them sleeping peacefully, the small rise of their chest, the way their faces soften when they rest. May they grow with ease. May they be protected. May they find kindness in this world. In Buddhist understanding, these wishes are not empty words. They shape the heart of the one who offers them. And a heart shaped by kindness acts differently tomorrow. This is how goodness travels. Now, allow the circle to widen further. Think of family not only by blood, but by connection. Friends, neighbors, caregivers, those who share your daily life and those who have passed through it briefly. In a country as large and diverse as the United States, families take many forms. Some are built by choice, some by necessity, some by shared hardship. All of them matter. As you breathe, imagine this dedication flowing like a quiet stream through each connection, touching without clinging, offering without expectation. In Buddhist teaching, this is how merit grows, not as a reward to be counted, but as a condition that supports peace. Now, gently return the circle to yourself. This part is often the hardest. You may notice resistance, a thought that says others deserve this more than I do. If that thought appears, simply notice it. It is another old habit. Bring the same warmth inward. May I be safe. May I rest tonight. May my heart be at ease. Notice how the body responds to these words. Perhaps the chest softens. Perhaps the breath deepens slightly. This is not selfishness. This is balance. The Buddha taught that compassion without self-compassion becomes exhaustion, and exhaustion helps no one. In many temples after dedication, there is a moment of silence. No words, just presence. Allow that silence now. Feel the weight of your body supported by the bed or chair. Feel the air moving in and out. If there is emotion here, sadness, gratitude, longing, let it be. This dedication does not require a particular feeling. It only asks that you pause and remember what truly matters. In this moment, you are not fixing family problems. You are not solving the future. You are offering peace where you can, beginning in the heart. This is how the Buddha described true generosity. Not giving what we do not have, but sharing what has already arisen. The calm you feel now, even if it is faint, is enough. Let it flow outward one last time like a quiet blessing carried on the breath. Then allow everything to settle. There is nothing more to do. The heart has done its work for the night. May this dedication bring ease to those you love. May it soften your own rest. May it remind you that even small moments of peace, when shared, can illuminate far more than we realize. And as sleep approaches, let yourself be held by this simple truth. You are part of something larger than your worries, and tonight you have chosen kindness. As the warmth of that dedication slowly settles, the night seems to grow wider and more forgiving. The room feels quieter now, not because every sound has disappeared, but because the mind no longer rushes to meet each one. The breath moves on its own. The body rests where it is. And in this gentle stillness, there is something important to remember. You do not need to repair your entire life tonight. Many people come to the end of the day carrying a silent checklist. What needs to change? What must be fixed? Who they should become? This list often grows longer in the dark. Lying in bed, the mind imagines tomorrow, next week, next year. Plans form. Promises are made. Resolutions stack on top of exhaustion. The Buddha did not teach this kind of pressure. He taught that wisdom moves at the pace of the present moment. If you have ever watched the sky just before sleep, when the last light fades and the stars begin to appear, you know how gradual this change is. The day does not end all at once. It softens. Colors dim. Edges blur. The heart learns the same way. Awakening, the Buddha said, is not a sudden leap from darkness to light. It is a series of small releases. Moments when we stop adding weight to what is already heavy. Tonight is not meant for solving everything. It is meant for resting inside what is already enough. You may notice how the body responds to this permission. The muscles around the eyes loosen. The forehead smooths. The breath sinks deeper, as if it has finally found room. This is not laziness. This is wisdom recognizing its proper time. In Buddhist teaching, there is a clear understanding of effort. Effort is meant to be balanced, neither forcing nor neglecting. Trying to fix your whole life in one night is a form of forcing. It asks the mind to carry more than it can hold. The Buddha taught that suffering grows when we demand more from ourselves than this moment can give. So tonight, the invitation is simple. Let tomorrow belong to tomorrow. You do not need to decide how you will handle every challenge ahead. You do not need to replay every conversation or plan the perfect response for the next one. Those things will still be there when the sun rises, and you will meet them with a clearer mind if you allow yourself to rest now. You may think of life as a long road. Some nights are for walking. Some nights are for stopping at the edge of the path and sitting down. This is one of those nights. The Buddha often spoke of impermanence, not to make people anxious, but to bring relief. Everything changes, including this moment of exhaustion, including this heaviness in the chest. Nothing needs to be permanent tonight, not even your worries. If the mind begins to drift again toward fixing or planning, you can gently redirect it, not with force, but with kindness. You might say inwardly, "Not now. Tomorrow will come on its own." Then return to the feeling of the body resting, the weight of the blanket, the support beneath you, the steady rhythm of breathing. These simple sensations anchor you here where nothing is required of you. In many Buddhist traditions, sleep is seen as a form of trust. Trust that life can continue without constant supervision. Trust that the world does not fall apart when we close our eyes. For people who carry responsibility, this trust can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. But little by little, it can be learned. As you lie here, notice that the night has not asked you to prove anything. It has not asked you to perform. It has simply opened itself. You may feel a soft gratitude arise, not toward anything specific, but toward the fact that you are allowed to stop, allowed to be unfinished, allowed to be human. The Buddha did not measure progress by how much we accomplish in a day. He measured it by how much suffering we let go of. Tonight, you have already let go of something important: the need to fight yourself. That is enough. If sleep comes quickly, welcome it. If it comes slowly, that is fine too. Rest is not a reward. It is a necessity. As your awareness gently fades, like a candle dimming without being blown out, allow this understanding to stay with you. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are learning how to live with a softer heart. And that learning does not need to be rushed. Tonight, you do not need to fix your life. You only need to rest inside it. Let the breath carry you downward. Let the body be heavy. Let the mind release its grip. The night will hold you now. As the night holds you more fully now, there is a gentle sense of completion, not an ending, but a soft, resting place. The breath moves quietly, almost unnoticed. The body has settled into its weight. The mind no longer feels the need to keep watch. If this night has brought even a small measure of lightness, let yourself recognize it. Not with pride, not with effort, just with a quiet acknowledgement. Sometimes the most meaningful changes are subtle. A loosening in the chest, a sigh that comes without asking, a moment when the inner voice grows kinder even briefly. These moments matter. The Buddha taught that the path does not unfold through dramatic leaps, but through steady companionship, through returning again and again to what reduces suffering and supports peace. Tonight was not about fixing your life. It was about learning how to stop hurting yourself when the world already asks so much. You noticed the habit of self-blame. You learned how to pause it. You offered kindness inward, then allowed it to flow outward to those you love. That is the practice. And the beautiful truth is this: you do not have to walk it alone. Across cities and quiet homes, many people are lying down, just like you are now, tired, sincere, trying to live with a good heart in a complicated world. They may never meet, they may never speak, but they share this intention to suffer less and to cause less suffering. This is what the Buddha called Sangha, not only a place or a group, but a shared direction of the heart. If you feel ready, you may imagine that Sangha now, not as faces, but as presence. A wide, gentle field where effort softens and understanding grows. In that field, there is no pressure to be perfect, no demand to arrive anywhere quickly, only the invitation to continue. Tomorrow night, or another night when you feel the familiar weight return, you can come back to this simple rhythm: breathing, pausing, letting go of the need to punish yourself. Each return strengthens a different habit, the habit of care. The Buddha taught that whatever we repeat becomes who we are, not all at once, but gradually. So, if tonight has helped you rest even a little more easily, trust that something meaningful has begun, even if it doesn't feel dramatic, even if it feels ordinary. Ordinary kindness, repeated, becomes wisdom. As sleep draws closer, there is nothing more you need to do. No lessons to memorize, no promises to make. Just allow the body to sleep. Allow the mind to drift. If you wish, you may carry one simple thought with you, like a small lamp. I am learning to be gentler with myself. That is enough for now. And if these nights of quiet reflection feel supportive, you are welcome to return, to listen again, to rest again, to continue this path at your own pace. You may choose to stay connected, to leave a gentle word to share where you are listening from, or simply to return when the heart needs a place to land. There is no obligation, only an open door. May the peace you touch tonight stay with you as you sleep. May it follow you into tomorrow, steady and calm. May it help you meet your life with a softer heart. Wherever you are, however this day has been, you are not walking alone. We will continue together, quietly, patiently, one peaceful night at a time. Namo, Amitabha Buddha.